Hi everyone, I'm here. Imagine you're sitting on a plane, 10,000 feet in the air. Engines roar, lightning flashes outside. Suddenly, the plane is ripped apart. You're falling, still strapped to your seat. Down, down. Against all odds, you open your eyes. You are alive. This is not fiction. This is the true story of Julianne Koepke, the only survivor of Lanza Flight 58. The crash in the Peruvian jungle. The fall of an angel. It was Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1971. 17-year-old Julianne boarded Lanza Flight 58. She was with her mother. They were flying from Lima to Pucallpa, Peru, excited to reunite with her father to celebrate Christmas together. But this airline had a bad reputation. Her parents, both scientists, knew the risks. Still, they wanted to be together for Christmas. 40 minutes into the flight, disaster struck. A violent thunderstorm swallowed the plane. Lightning flashed. The plane broke apart in midair. Chaos, screams, and then silence. Julianne was ripped away from her mother, still strapped to her seat. She plummeted 3 kilometers straight into the Amazon rainforest. The fall should have been fatal, but her row of seats spun like a helicopter, slowing her descent. She crashed through dense jungle canopy. Branches cushioned her landing. When she woke up, she was alive. Her collarbone was broken, a deep cut on her arm. One eye swollen shut, one shoe missing. But she was breathing. She had survived. The jungle was silent. Her mother was nowhere to be found. For hours, she called out. But only the forest answered. No food, no supplies, no survival kit. But Julianne had knowledge. She had grown up in the jungle. Her scientist parents had taught her that knowledge would save her life. She remembered her father's words. If you're lost in the jungle, find water. Follow streams. They will lead to rivers, and rivers mean people. So Julianne did that. She found a small creek. She followed it downstream. Mosquitoes swarmed her. Leeches clung to her skin. The sun burned her body. Still, she walked. Still, she pushed forward. On day 2, hunger gnawed at her stomach. She found a bird's nest with eggs. She ate them raw. Day 3, her wounds became infected. She looked at her arm. Maggots were crawling inside. Instead of panicking, she remembered her father's lesson. Maggots eat dead tissue. They prevent infection. She left them in a wound. Day 5. The scorching sun drained her energy. She slept during the day to escape the heat. At night, the temperature dropped. She shivered uncontrollably. Day 6, she crossed a small river. On the other side, she found a hut. People lived there! Julianne screamed, "Help me! Please, help me." They understood. They rushed to help. But when they arrived, she had disappeared. Day 7, she tried to flag down passing boats. They didn't see her. Day 8, the thought of giving up crossed her mind. She recalled her father's words. Never give up. Life always has a reason. He was right. She still had reasons to live. Her father, her friends, her school, her dreams. She couldn't let them go. So she kept moving. Day 9, she heard airplanes. She screamed. She waved, but the canopy was too thick. No one saw her day 10. She reached a larger river. Finally, she saw a small boat with fuel. It was far from shore. Julianne took off her sandal, tied it to a stick, and began signaling. The boat approached. 2 men jumped out and found her. Weak, hungry, thirsty, Julianne was carried to safety. After 11 days in the Amazon, she was found. Later, she learned the truth. Her mother had also survived the fall, but she was too injured. She died before help could come. Julianne's story became legend. But first, let's rewind. How did this nightmare begin? On December 24th, 1971, LA NSA. Flight 508 took off from Lima bound for Pucallpa, Peru. There were 91 passengers on board, among them, Julianne and her mother. The captain was 36-year-old Armando Rev. He had logged 6,000 hours of flight time. His co-pilot, 28-year-old Jose, was less experienced with 2,000 hours. The weather that night was stormy, but the captain decided to fly on. He knew the route well. There was no reason to be cautious. The flight took off smoothly. The passengers settled in for the ride. An hour passed, then the radio crackled. Lima Control Tower to Lanza Flight 58. Are you at cruising altitude? Captain Armando responded. Almost. He was focusing on the storm ahead. Suddenly, the plane lurched. Lights flickered. The captain wrestled with the controls. He had activated the autopilot mode. But now, the storm was upon them. Winds buffeted the plane. Rain lashed against the windows. In the cockpit, alarms blurred. The pilots struggled to regain control. They fought for every meter of altitude. The captain gripped the controls tightly. He had to get the plane above the clouds. He managed to level the aircraft. He turned to Jose, his voice tight. Get us out of this. Jose nodded. He knew the gravity of their situation. They needed to land. But where? The airport at Pucallpa was close, but visibility was zero. Landing there was out of the question. Their only option was to head back to Lima. Jose contacted Lima Control. We need to divert. Weather at Pucallpa is bad. We're returning to Lima. As the plane turned, screams filled the cabin. Passengers clutched their seats. In the cockpit, the captain stabilized the plane. He put the safety of his passengers above his own fear. They were almost out of the storm. Suddenly, the plane lurched again. This time, it was worse. The left wing dropped. The plane skimmed the treetops. Screams filled the cabin. The captain fought with the controls. Then he felt a jolt. Something was wrong. With the plane, they were losing altitude fast. The ground rushed towards them. People screamed. The captain knew what was happening. The plane was breaking apart. He shouted, "Put on your oxygen masks." He grabbed his mask and secured it. Dois horror. The plane split into two parts. Screams pierced the night. He knew what he had to do. He activated the emergency exit. He opened the door. Just before everything went black, he saw Juliana. She was slumped over, still strapped to her seat. The captain never saw her unstrap herself. As the plane crashed, Juliana found herself falling. She screamed, "Help me!" But no one could hear her. All around her, people screamed. The plane tore apart in mid. She closed her eyes, bracing for impact. When she opened them, she was staring at the ground. She had plunged 3 kilometers, but she was alive. The next morning, the jungle was silent. Rescue workers searched the crash site. They found pieces of the plane, luggage, personal belongings. But there was no sign of survivors. They searched for 2 days. Then they found Julianne. She was lying near a creek, her face covered in leaves, her body bruised, battered, but alive. When she regained consciousness, she was in a hospital bed. Doctors and nurses bustled around her. One doctor leaned in. "You were found in the jungle. You survived a miracle." Julianne looked at him, confused. She had no idea how long she had been unconscious. Then she remembered the crash. She looked down at her body. She was covered in cuts and bruises. Her left arm was badly injured. She tried to move it. Pain shot through her. Her mother. Where was her mother? The doctor noticed her distress. "Your mother is gone, I'm afraid." Julianne felt tears prick her eyes. She buried her face in a pillow. Grief overwhelmed her. Days turned into weeks. Julianne recovered physically, but the trauma of the crash lingered. She suffered from anxiety and depression. She couldn't sleep. Every night she dreamed of the crash. She relived the terror of falling. She missed her mother terribly. Julianne reached out to a psychologist. She needed help to cope with her trauma. It was a long journey, but slowly she began to heal. Today, Julianne is a successful biologist. She has written a book about her ordeal. Her story continues to amaze. Julianne was just 17 when she survived the LANSA Flight 508 crash. She was trapped in the wreckage of the plane for who knows how long. When she emerged from the jungle, she had no idea that she was the sole survivor. For 2 weeks, Julianne endured immense physical and emotional pain, yet she never gave up hope. She never stopped believing that someone would find her. Her story is truly amazing, and she proved that the human body is incredibly resilient. When faced with unimaginable circumstances, Julianne displayed incredible courage and determination. She didn't panic. She used her knowledge of the jungle to survive, and most importantly, she never lost hope. Julianne's story serves as an inspiration to us all. It shows us that no matter how dire the situation may seem, we should never give up. There is always hope. Julianne's story is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. She is a true survivor. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more unbelievable true stories.